Hey guys, I mentioned in a previous video that I was going to show how I made the custom brackets for my 98 Chevy Tahoe. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have 88 to 98 Chevy trucks, Tahoes, Suburbans, and you can't find brackets for them anywhere for the roof mount, except maybe NFAB, which is close to 200 bucks with shipping, and maybe one other place, which is also very expensive. So I put together a quick video just to show how I made these. I think they turned out pretty well, and you know, who knows, maybe that'll help somebody out. Alright, so the first thing I did was I drew up a little template, or rough draft if you will, just to get something to start with. And we're going to cut that out, put it up there, see what we can do. The problem is, show you here, it is wintertime in Ohio, and you see those roads are just covered in salt that just wants to dissolve my Tahoe. I don't really like to take it out in the salt, so I don't have it here at the shop with me. I'm down at the shop where I work. So I've got the next best thing. I've got my boss's 99 Tahoe here, which is the same body style, or Suburban rather. It's the same body style as my Tahoe, so we're going to use that just to mock it up. The only problem is it's got a visor on the roof, which is going to be kind of a problem. Can't quite see exactly what it's going to look like, but at least I can get a good start on these brackets, and I can make the final adjustments once I can get my Tahoe up here. So you can see what I did is I took the foam blocks that come with the light bar, left those on so I don't scratch up my roof, plus it'll kind of give me a little gap up there, set the space about where I want it. And I went ahead and cut out a couple of these templates, stuck them up in there just to get an idea of what they'd look like, see what we're dealing with. You know, I can make different adjustments and modifications if I want. And I'd like to have this a little further forward on the roof, but because of that visor, I'm starting right here. And my Tahoe does have those cab lights on it. So I kind of wanted to build custom brackets that would be up over the cab lights so I can still see my cab lights. But that's about what it's going to look like, only I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to move it farther forward. There it is. There's step one. I know what you're thinking. Those little pieces of paper are probably going to be a little too floppy to hold up a light bar. Yeah, I know. So as soon as I get these just the way I want them, like I said, I might make a few changes, make another pattern, get it just the way I want. Then we'll go ahead and get that traced out on some metal and get started on that part. Alright, did some more adjustments, a little more tweaking, a little more modification to my template here. I got the light bar up to about right in front of the cab lights, which the cab lights should be in the same place on my Tahoe. And I want them a little over the cab lights, obviously, you don't want them resting on there. So, this is about what I'm going to be looking at. Not quite finished yet, but I'm getting closer. Now, because of the way this door right in here bends around, it'd be kind of hard to put a big plate like that up in here just because the way that door bends, you'd be smashing it with your door every time you closed it. So I'm going to try to keep this bracket back here a little bit and kind of extend it out. I don't think that'll look too bad. Alright, I got the bends about where they're going to be in the paper. Kind of fold it in there so you can start to see what it's going to look like. Got it bent out over the hood, bent back up so it's going to line up with the light bar. It's coming along. So you can see I've made a few changes from my original rough draft design. Now on the final draft here, you notice I added these little tabs on the ends. That's because now that this has gotten longer, there's going to be more lever action pulling down on this thing. So I wanted it to be a little wider along the rail of the window, so I have a wider area to rivet to make that thing stronger so it's not tweaking with the weight of that light bar out on the end there. Alright, it's time to make these templates a little less floppy. Got it all traced out on a piece of 1/8 inch steel. And I've already cut one of them out. Something like that. Now the best way to do this obviously would be to have a CNC machine or a water jet or something fun like that. Even a plasma cutter would make it a lot easier. But unfortunately the only thing I have here is a 4-inch grinder with a cutoff wheel on it. And that takes a lot of different cuts and hacks and grinding to get it right, and look something like that all done. I still need to contour some of my corners a little better and touch it up a little better before I go to paint them, but that's a good rough draft. I can get the other one just like it. We'll do all the bends, then I can contour all the edges just the way I like them. And Alright, I got them vice gripped and clamped in the vise here, both together, so I can go through and grind around the edges, make sure they're the same size. See, cutting it off with a wheel like that, they're not going to be perfect, so one's going to be a little bigger than the other, the lines aren't going to be straight. So I'm going to clamp together and true those up so we know we got two identical pieces. Back to the 4-inch grinder, just with a grinding wheel this time. And then for the tight corners, got a 90-degree angle grinder with a carbide bit on it. Alright, now that we got them the same size all the way around, we're going to go ahead and take the angle grinder with a grinding disc on it, coarse disc, kind of smooth them up just a little better, take the edges off, and then we'll work our way down to one of these Scotch-Brite type discs. Go ahead and smooth it off real nice, kind of finesse it a little bit, and get her looking pretty good. Alright, now we'll change discs. We'll separate them. And we'll go through and clean up all the edges from where they were together and get them in the sandblaster. Alright, we got them all cleaned up. Now that we're dealing with metal instead of paper, I'm going to go ahead and put some tape up along the door seals up there so we don't scratch this guy's nice Suburban. Might get a little upset with me. And then we'll stuff these up there and see where we got to start bending. Alright, time to start bending. Alright, we got the first bend in there. Kind of clearance our door a little bit. And just got to mark where we need to make the next bend and continue on. Alright, we'll do another bend. Now, just like I said, cutting it out with a cutoff wheel wasn't the best way to do it. There's way better ways to do it. That's just what I had to work with. Well, obviously this ain't the best way to do this either. Obviously a metal brake would do perfect bends and it'd just be a lot easier. But unfortunately I don't have one of those, and I'm guessing a lot of you don't either, so we're going to do what we can with what we can. Alright, do a little at a time and get her just right. Alright, well that's pretty much what it's going to look like. Got her bolted into the light bar. Still got to get them cleaned back up, drill all the holes for my rivets, and obviously we're not going to be mounted on this truck, but they'll be all ready to go for the Tahoe. I think they turned out pretty good. Like I said, it would have been a little better, if you had a brake or something so you could bend that metal perfectly, but it did turn out pretty good. You can see it just clears the running lights on top, the cab lights, which is what I was aiming for. It'll look a little different once I get it on the Tahoe, but there it is. I don't think it looks too bad. Well, by some miracle, the sun came out, the snow went away, and we got the Tahoe down at the shop. So time to put these brackets on, see how they work. Got a little paint on. I see I'm going to be using 1/4-inch rivets. You gotta have a pretty serious rivet gun. And then I'm gonna use some Permatex Right Stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and caulk around behind the plate up there and around all my rivet holes. That way we won't get any water in the cab. So, alright, I'll go ahead and get this side put on and see how it works. Alright, well there it is, all riveted on and bolted up. I think it turned out pretty well. I was able to get it pretty much even with the front of my windshield, which is kind of what I was aiming for. And still be able to see my cab lights, which was the other thing I was trying to accomplish. So I think that worked out pretty well. I still got to wire it in, that's why the wire's just dangling there, but I'm gonna have to get a grommet, stick it through the roof and seal it up real well, but that part's all done. I think it looks pretty good. Not bad for something just whipped up out of an old piece of metal. Like I said, you can find brackets from NFab and one other place I think, but most of those, by the time you factor in shipping, you're looking at almost $200. So, a few hours worth of time and some old metal, kind of basic tools. There it is. You can do it yourself. One other thing I forgot to mention, those NFab brackets I told you about that cost around $200 with shipping, those are for straight light bars only. And of course I wanted a curved bar because they look so much better. And I believe the other company I found that was still somewhere around $200 they wanted for their brackets, I'm pretty sure their brackets were straight light bars only as well. Well, there it is outside in the daylight. Get a little better view now that it's not in the shop with the overhead lights in the way. Looks pretty good. Like I said, just let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching.